An ultimate guide for a successful life. Muhammad Farooq Buzdar. Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is Farooq. I am narrating my book. You can watch the content of the book on your screen. You can also listen to it. This book is copyright free. You can share it with as many people as possible. If you are watching it on my YouTube channel, which is with the name of Muhammad Farooq Buzdar, or on my Facebook page, then there must be a link for PDF of this book. You can download that copy and you can share it with as many people as possible. You can also share this video with the other people. This book talks about the guidelines given in Quran to humans. Book is must read for all Muslims and non-Muslims. Quran is the book of guidance for all humanity. It has been translated into multiple languages. Many people across the world, Muslims, non-Muslims, read it for the guidance. In this book, which I have titled as Ultimate Guide, there are guidelines of Quran for everybody, for the personal growth, for societal values, how to live in the society. There are guidelines on spending the wealth. There are guidelines on business. These guidelines are ultimate guidelines. All the good organizations, all the ethics today the society talks about in the Western world or in Asia or in Europe, anywhere, Quran already highlighted all these guidelines. The best part is these guidelines talks to humans directly. Very simple, very easy to understand. So I'm sure you will find this book useful. I have made the content very attractive for the reader. It's not a typical book which if you find boring, then I'm sure you will love this book, because this book is completely based on the sayings of Quran, which are kept very small and very clear. So I will directly go to the content. The first section is on parents and parenting. The guideline of the Quran is that be dutiful to parents. Do not say a word of disrespect to parents. Do not enter parents' private room without asking permission. These are wonderful guidelines for a successful family life. Children can get the advice, can get the guide from these Quranic verses. And if you are a parent, you can also get the guidance from these verses. Personal growth. Restrain anger. Most of the problems in the world happen because of the anger. So in the Quran, one is advised to restrain his or her anger. Be good to others. Do not be arrogant. Forgive others for their mistakes. Speak to people mildly. Do not ridicule others. This is for everyone, for Muslims, non-Muslims, that do not ridicule others. Do not follow anyone blindly. Do not consume usury. Usury is also used, can also be used for the interest. Do not consume interest. Do not engage in bribery. Do not break the promise. Honor guests. Do not prevent people from going to mosques. Do not marry those in your blood relation. Keep the trust. Do not spy or backbite. So in the previous section we have seen that if we do not spy, backbite, we do not involve in bribery and other social crimes, and we respect our guests, we respect each other, then obviously we will have a better society. And the person living in that society will be successful. The society will be peaceful. The next section is on justice. Do not consume one another's wealth unjustly. Judge with justice between people. Stand out firmly for justice. Wealth of the dead should be distributed among their family members. Those who do not judge in accordance to the God's revelations are wrongdoers. Having majority is not a criterion of truth. Be just. Punish for crimes in an exemplary way. Strive against sinful and unlawful acts. So if someone is following all these guidelines are not only for the judges. In a personal life, everyone can evaluate his actions and help the humanity to become a better society. Quran is an ultimate book which talks about everyone. One section can be implemented in another area also. Quran talked about the weaker people a lot, the weaker segments of the society, which are in some cases women or the orphans. Quran says women also have the right to inheritance. Do not devour the property of orphans. Protect orphans. Avoid suspicion. Quran also talks about helping others in the society on charity. Spend wealth in charity. Encourage feeding poor. Help those in need by finding them. Do not invalidate charity with the reminders. These days, due to Islamophobia, the image of Islam is not good in eyes of West, as per media reports which I listen. Some people with the name of Islam are defaming Islam. I read Quran. Those people who read the Quran, they find the Quran one of the most peaceful books. It has the strategies of war. It has the strategies of life. These war or battle strategies can also be applied in the personal life. I will go through directly the Quranic verses. Do not commit abuse on earth. Fight only with those who fight you. From this we can say the peacefulness which Islam brings to the society. Keep the etiquettes of war. Do not turn back in battle. No compulsion in religion. Believe in all prophets. Quran has also guidelines for selecting rulers, for selecting a boss, for selecting the head of every department. So these sections can be implemented on different places. Choose rulers by their merit. Do not burden a person beyond their scope. So one is from the people when they are selecting a ruler, when they are selecting a boss. And the other is for the boss, that do not burden a person beyond their scope. One person can work for 12 hours continuously, if you are putting him pressure to work for 14 hours, for 20 hours, then as per Quranic verses, you are not doing a good job. You're not doing a job which will make you successful. Quran also talks about unity in society, unity in nations, unity in countries. Do not become divided. Quran focuses a lot on thinking and discovery. In fact, the Quran is book of guidance, which is also written in the Quran, Surah Baqarah, that this is a book of guidance. On thinking and discovery, Quran says, think deeply about the wonders and creation of this universe. Men and women have equal rewards for their deeds. This is a Quranic verse. I could put it in the justice section or in the rights of the weaker segments of the society. You can also see it in perspective of protecting the weaker people. But I see it as a point to understand and discover there is justice. There is something which we can bring in everyday society to make sure that men and women have equal rewards for their deeds. In West, the salary gap is most of the time highlighted. This Quranic verse can be used as a guideline to create the equality and to avoid many conflicts. Men are protectors of women. Do not be miserly. Do not keep envy. Do not kill each other. Do not be an advocate of deceit. Do not cooperate in sin and aggression. Cooperate in righteousness. Dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine are prohibited. To avoid intoxicants and alcohol. All these things are the things where humans can think and discover new things. As the science is advancing, we know that avoiding intoxicant and alcohol is not good for health. There are many drawbacks of this. So humans can think and research on other things which Quran has mentioned, which can be used to improve the lives of others and make this world a peaceful place. Do not gamble. Do not insult other deities. On business and social responsibility, Quran has also verses. Quran guides all the business people to write down the debt. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also emphasized on this part, on the writing of the agreements. Don't reduce weight or measure to cheat people. This verse can be used everywhere you are doing business. Do not reduce weight or measure to cheat people. Grant more time to repay if the debtor is in hard times. This is the beautifulest thing in the Quran, because grant more time to repay if the debtor is in the hard times. The modern day system is collapsing. The capitalism is criticized for its charges, for its overcharges. If we see the Citibank, if we see the bigger banks pattern, how the rich people do, they go to the court and then the most of the cases request for waiver of the taxes. But this system applies on the poor people. on car loans, on home loans, on paying late. The debt keeps increasing and many suicides. I'm sure you have also read about these type of suicides, these type of cases. You have also listened these type of cases are happening. But on other side, Islam talks about giving the debtor more time, being kind to him. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also emphasized on being kind to the debtor. Not only Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized on these aspects of life, he has lived a life which is exactly as per the guidelines of Quran. So you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see the documentary on life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I have made one complete video, one blog on LinkedIn, and one ebook I will add on my ResearchGate and Amazon, learning business and etiquettes from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. You will find that all the guidelines which are in Quranic verses, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has executed, practically shown to the people that how it's done. Eat and drink, but not excessive. But be not excessive. Wear good clothes during prayer times. Protect and help those who seek protection. Keep purity. Never give up hope for Allah's mercy. Allah will forgive those who have done wrong out of ignorance. This is a big lesson which we can learn, that Allah will forgive those who have done wrong out of ignorance. Even in offices, we know if somebody does not know anything and something wrong happened to him, we can learn from this verse. Because I have added the sections just to categorize the Quranic verses as a guidance for the people. But one verse, if one person understands one verse in a complete spirit and implement that verse in his or her life, that is guarantee of the guidance. Invitation to God should be with the wisdom and good instruction. This is very, very, very important. That God in the Quran all the time talks about logic, talks about wisdom. As we already explained in the book, that do not follow anyone blindly. Similarly, God says in Quran, invitation to God should be with wisdom and good instruction. No one will bear others' sins. This is a big inspiration, big guidance for humans to work hard and work on their own life. Do not kill your children for fear of poverty. This is happening a lot. People lose hope. Quran says, do not kill your children for fear of poverty. Maybe good days are coming. There's a big lesson for the world in success of every person. Every successful person has a story where he had very bad time in his life, and then suddenly he decided not to suicide. He decided to work. He decided to come out of the poverty, and those people had changed the fate of humanity. Those people are guidelines for us. So if I say either knowingly or unknowingly they were following this verse of Quran, do not kill your children for fear of poverty, or do not despair from the blessings of God, there is another verse in Quran, then they are following the guidelines. And these guidelines will ultimately lead to the success. There is a reason you are having a trouble, difficult time, and that time is there to guide you. Do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. Keep aloof from what is vain. Do not enter others' house without seeking permission. Allah will provide security for those who believe only in Allah. Allah is great. Allah forgives all sins. So if someone ever said to you that you are a sinner, Allah will not forgive you, then after reading and listening this book, you must know that Allah forgives all sins. You must ask for the forgiveness. This is the beauty of Quran, that it guides in such a way that everything is clear, everybody can understand and interpret the guidance. Do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Seek forgiveness of Allah. He is forgiving and merciful. On societal values, Quran talks on several places. Repel evil by good. What a beautiful guideline. People quote Gandhi. Gandhi is a great man. Mahatma Gandhi was a great man. But most of the people, they link these kind of things, that repel evil by good, with Gandhi or with other successful people. But the reality is that the Quran was revealed by God many years ago, before the modern heroes we quote. Therefore, I give the title of this book, The Ultimate Guide for Successful Life. Most of the motivation books, most of the motivation content you find on internet, chances are that you find everyone's content inside this book. There's much more which is not written yet, but we humans can explore as instructed by Quran, that explore the world and ponder over the things. So, repel evil by good. Decide on affairs by consultation. Most noble of you is the most righteous. No monasticism in the religion. Those who have knowledge will be given a higher degree by Allah. Treat non-Muslims in a kind and fair manner. Save yourself from covetousness. Do not repel the petitioner, beggar. Order righteousness to people only after practicing it yourself. This is the wonderful guide, the beautifulest guide. Order righteousness to people only after practicing it yourself. Transformational leadership of human resource management is completely can be summarized in one verse. Order righteousness to people only after practicing it yourself. Try for settlement between people. Do not be rude in speech. Do not have sexual intercourse during menstrual period. Walk on earth in humility. Do not neglect your portion of this world. Invoke not any other God along with Allah. Do not engage in homosexuality. Enjoin right, forbid wrong. Do not walk in insolence through the earth. Women should not display their finery. Breastfeed your children for 2 complete years. Do not even approach unlawful sexual intercourse. Do not spend money extravagantly. So thank you so much for listening, watching this book. Again, these guidelines are as per my understanding. One guideline can be used in several contexts. As I said, if one person understands complete verse of Quran, he can change his complete life with just following one verse in a proper way. Because Quran once says that preach the righteousness. After order righteousness to people only after practicing it yourself. I wanted to say the exact same words. Order righteousness to people only after practicing it yourself. If someone is doing this, only implementing this, then he can make his life extremely successful and beautiful. I wish you good luck. Please share this audiobook with other people. If you love reading will take not more than 10 minutes. You can read this book, share it with maximum people. Thank you so much.